Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining
Hey.
us today. My name's David. I'm on the product marketing team for Tableau, and it is my absolute pleasure to kick off this session, Tableau Roadmap, Innovating Across a Unified Platform. Now, roadmap sessions are always my favorite because they give us a chance to show you some of our upcoming innovations that we're still working on. That does mean, however, that I have this piece of housekeeping, our forward-looking statements. Because this is a roadmap session, we'll be showing you some future-looking innovations, so I'll remind you that Salesforce is a publicly traded company, and all customers should base purchasing decisions only on currently available products. And of course, a big thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us at DataFam Europe and to join us for this session. I have the privilege of attending my second DataFam Europe. It's fantastic to see a few familiar faces, a lot of new faces. Appreciate you joining us to come, connect, learn, and share together. Now, I saw from the hands raised in the keynote this morning that we have many of you who have been with us on this journey of analytics for some time, and some of you that are new as well. Whether you're new to Tableau or an old veteran, you know that our mission has always been the same. We help people see, understand, and act on data. Today, in the era of agentic AI, that mission is more important than ever. And the way that we can achieve this mission is more impactful than ever. As you heard from Ryan this morning, we have one unified analytics platform with a number of powerful experiences for whatever your data need is. And we believe that in order to meet our mission, we will be innovating across this entire platform. Because wherever you are on your analytics journey, Tableau is here to help. We paved the way for self-service analytics in 2003. We changed the game on traditional reporting. We created an intuitive visual exploration platform for user-driven data exploration and insight discovery. This year, we launched our newest product, Tableau Next, so that we could usher in the era of agentic analytics, where AI agents help you turn data into actionable decisions. Now, in this roadmap session, you're going to be hearing about how we're innovating across this entire unified platform. We're going to start with talking a little bit about Tableau Next and how that can deliver actionable insights to every user, and how that's built on a trusted foundation for accurate AI. Next, we'll move on into talking about how this doesn't just work in a silo. Our portfolio is unified, interoperable. So we'll show you how you can build comprehensive and cohesive experiences on this interoperable portfolio and ultimately power data exploration on a governed platform with some focus on the innovations that we're bringing into Tableau Cloud and Tableau Server. So I will go ahead and kick us off to talk about how you can deliver actionable insights to every user with agentic analytics. We're going to do this with Tableau Next. This is what you saw a lot of this morning in the keynote. This is our latest product that humans and agents can work together to turn data into action. Tableau Next is deeply integrated with Agentforce. So we make it possible for every user in your organization to make better decisions with the help of AI agents that truly understand your business context, allowing you to transform your data into real business outcomes with seamless actionability. Now, with Tableau Next, insights are directly in the flow of work. And we think of insights in a few ways here. Now, you can get insights that are conversational, meaning that you can talk to agents in the same way that you would talk to a coworker to get a trusted response. Not only that, but they're not just reactive. While you can get on-demand answers through conversational analytics, you also get proactive insights. Agents will alert you to where you want to look in your data and where you should dig in further. Also, these insights are collaborative. You can collaborate on your team seamlessly with these insights. That's not just your human teammates. That is also your agents, and of course, you're getting these all contextually in the flow of work. But insights aren't the end. With Tableau Next, insights are seamlessly actionable to drive faster and better business outcomes. So we can go from an insight, like seeing a trend in my total sales. We can seamlessly take an action at that point of insight and ultimately drive the outcome that we want. Now, to really put this in perspective, let's go to a demo and see how this looks. Now, for this demo, I'm not David, the product marketer. I am David, a sales leader. So I start my day looking across my full business. I, of course, have a number of helpful dashboards here that give me a summary of all of my data, my business. I can drill into pipeline analysis. I even have predictive analytics here. I can see the top factors that are affecting my likelihood of winning or the negative factors for that as well. Now, I have a lot of information here, but I'm pretty short on time. So what I want to do is I want to understand where I should look. And that's where our agentic capabilities come in. With our inspector skill, I am notified on key changes in my data. And I can see a number of notifications here. My sales have decreased, I have a significant decline, and I also have a pipeline decline as well. Now this is helpful for me because now I know exactly where to look to drill in. So I want to dig specifically into my pipe gen decline here. I can just click the notification and follow up. So I'll click here to ask a follow-up question. Here I am, I've jumped directly into my pipeline generation metric. I can see that it is trending down from the prior month and down year over year. So I want to dig in a little bit deeper here. And so I'll ask my agent, what are my lowest performing product families? Because I want to see if there's a specific area within my portfolio that's causing this decline that I'd want to look at. Now, this is Agentforce Tableau, our integrations with Agentforce, and this is using our concierge skill for conversational analytics. Just like I would with a coworker, I can ask a question and follow up. But here, in this case, you can see that my agent is asking me to clarify. It doesn't know what lowest performing product families means. And this is actually great that it's asking me to clarify because I don't want my agent to guess. So I'll let my agent know that I define lowest performing as the product families with the lowest sales. So now my agent is able to look across my data and identify for me, well, which product families have the lowest sales and are the lowest performing. And what this agent will do is provide me the synopsis of what those product families are, as well as a visualization. And here we have it. So the lowest performing product families by sales are solar panel hardware and solar panels. So I can expand that a little bit, see the viz a little better. I also see here, this isn't black box AI, right? You know where this comes from. You can see the sources. The agent tells you how it has done the calculation and even links to the semantic model that this comes from. More on that in a little bit in this presentation. Now, I'd like to follow up here. These are already my lowest performing product families, so I'll set up a follow-up alert, right? I was notified when my pipeline dropped. I also want to be notified when sales for both of these product families decreases by more than 2% so that I can take action on that. And so this is setting up a notification, again, with that inspector skill that gives me those proactive insights so that I can go further from there. Now, perfect. What we've just done is we've drilled into our pipe gen. We have a little bit of an idea on how we can solve some of these trends. But that's not the only metric I'm following. I'd like to take a look at some of the other metrics as well. So here I see also that my win rate has dipped. Now, I'd love to collaborate on this with my team a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I will share this directly to Slack. And I have a sales team channel. And I will say, hey, team, let's discuss how we can improve win rate. Tableau Next is natively integrated with Slack, so you can seamlessly go from looking directly within your experience in Tableau Next to your team Slack channel. And here I have it. I can see that I've shared this live metric with Slack. Now, this is based on the user's permission. So this metric is loaded live each time in the thread. I can see the current data, and I can start a conversation on this. Now, I can start a conversation not just with my own team, like I normally would in Slack, but I have my agent in here as well. So I can ask, I can ask my agent to analyze my trends and win rates across the last quarter. So that same analytics agent that I had within the Tableau Next experience, it's available directly in Slack as well. It has access to all of that same data, so I can seamlessly go from Tableau Next to a conversational experience directly in Slack. This is collaboration across my whole team, humans and agents. So my agent will take just a couple moments to search across my data, come up with a response, provide me the insights that I need directly in thread. Though I suppose it depends on the Wi-Fi and how many of you are live streaming this on Twitch right now. Okay, here we go. Here's the answer. I can see that the win rate for the last quarter has actually increased. That's pretty good. Now, this is helpful information for me. I can also choose to share this directly in the thread. So if I like the response the agent has, I can share it in the thread, and then anyone in my team who goes into this thread can see the same response. Finally, what I would like to do is follow up with an action. We talked about that seamless actionability at the point of insight. I can ask my agent to create a high priority task for every account executive on my team to schedule a business review with their account. So I will go ahead and kick that off. So what did we see? We saw an agent. It provided us a proactive notification so we could see where we wanted to dig deeper in our business. We asked further questions. We shared those insights with Slack, where we could dig in even further with that same agent and even kick off an action directly from this flow. Awesome. So that is our first demo on delivering actionable insights in the flow of work for every user. Let's go back to the slides. So what did we just see in that demo? Well, we saw the ability to ask questions and get data-driven insights and visualizations. We saw those proactive notifications. That's our inspector skill. That's in beta today. Our Slack integration and the ability to take action. All those capabilities are available today. If you have Tableau next, you can take advantage of them. We have a number of innovations coming later in the year as well. One I'm particularly excited for early in the year are metric-driven actions. So the ability to automatically trigger flows when metrics reach certain thresholds. So if my win rate were to dip below a certain percent, I can automatically set an action to kick off instead of having to do that on my own. And later in the year, a number of innovations as well. One I'm particularly excited for is the Microsoft Teams integration. So much like some of the integrations that you just saw in Slack in this demo, we will be building some of those for Teams as well. Now, you might be wondering, how did this experience work? Well, I saw proactive notifications. I saw, of course, visualizations and dashboards, a conversational experience. This all worked because we have a trusted foundation for accurate AI. You've probably heard the term garbage in, garbage out. That is doubly true for AI. Your AI is only as good as the data you feed it. And the truth is, the majority of AI projects will fail without AI-ready data. So how do you make sure that your data is ready for AI? That's where a semantic layer comes in. Think of the semantic layer as the bridge between data and insights. It's a business-friendly data layer that organizes, standardizes, and defines your data. It adds business context to all of your data that powers all those insights and that powers that actionability. The semantic layer, our semantic layer is called Tableau semantics, allowing you to truly unleash the power of your data and AI with business knowledge. Now, not only does Tableau semantics set the foundation for trusted AI, but it's unique in that Tableau semantics has AI built in. So for all you analysts who will be building semantic models, we have AI capabilities that help you build those even more seamlessly. And I would love to show you that in action as well. Now, if we go back to our demo, here we saw in our sources, we are linked to a specific semantic model. This is the semantic model that is driving the capabilities that we saw here. This is the semantic model that is powering all of those insights that we saw. So these are all the data sources, their relationships with each other. You can see how your metrics are defined, what they mean, any calculated fields that you have, and more. Now, I'd love to go through a few capabilities within our semantic layer that makes this experience even easier. The first is Data Pro. Data Pro is the name of our skill that helps analysts do their jobs. It helps you go through every stage of analysis easier, better, and faster. And one of the things that Data Pro can do is help us create calculated fields with natural language. So in this case, I want to create an additional calculated field for weighted value. And I'll just tell my analytics and visualization agent that I want to create a metric that multiplies my opportunity value by the probability that I'll close for any opportunity within open status. And just like that, my analytics and visualization agent is able to create that based on my description, and I can go ahead and create this right away. But that's not all we have. Like, we have built in a number of tools that help us further optimize these semantic models. If you saw it in our keynote this morning, you're familiar with our semantic model AI optimization. All I need to do is click on Optimize Model here, and I have a model health gauge telling me how ready this model is. Now, in my case, I have a pretty robust model, but I actually have one more field here that hasn't been joined yet. Semantic AI optimization helps me suggest relationships. So you can see this dotted line show up right here if you can't see it. and it gives me the suggested relationship. So CSAT connected to account through the account ID, I can accept that, and also I can see any missing descriptions that I have. In my case, I have quite a few. It could take me some time to type these out, but fortunately, we have built-in AI that looks across my data and my metadata and helps me automatically generate a starting description that I can accept as it is. So I'm able to optimize these semantic models, make sure that they're as ready as they can be for AI. Now, in addition to making sure that my data is ready, as an analyst, I would have an idea of some of the questions that my business would ask. And that's where business preferences come in. By applying these business preferences, I can help shape how my agent responds to questions that I expect the business to ask, with any specific instructions, any jargon that I use. In my case, I want to add a new one. I'm going to do that and define red opportunities. In my business, these are defined as opportunities with a win rate below 60%. So I'm going to add that preference, and right away, that will be taken into account. So let me show you how that looks. I'll hit refresh here. Here I am starting again on my home page, seeing all of my sales data. And now I'm going to ask my agent a question. What are the red accounts within add-on business with the highest win rate? So this agent has access not only to that semantic model, but the new business preference that I've just defined, which is showing me, or which tells the agent that red accounts are those with win rates less than 60%. So now my agent will look across all of my data, knowing this new definition, and hopefully give me a quick synopsis here. And perfect. Okay. So we have a few things we can look into here. We have a number of accounts. It is giving me more than I expect at 60%, but I might just need to update my business preference here to reflect that. So I'll give that a refresh, and we'll give that another shot later. One last thing I want to show you, because we verified a number of questions here, we're testing some of these questions out. The latest capability that we have is called Q&A calibration. This gives me an opportunity to test some of the responses that I anticipate getting from my agent. So here I can see a number of questions that I've already tested. I want to go into this one for total sales for last quarter, broken down by industry. Here I can see a preview. So this is what the agent would respond with if I were to ask. And what Q&A calibration really allows me to do is it allows me to ask a question that I expect to receive, look at the response, and tell the agent, hey, is this right, or do we need to tweak it? In this case, when I ask for total sales broken down by industry, I'm getting exactly the response that I get. So this is classified as a verified answer. But if this was inaccurate, I can flip this to inaccurate answer. I can say whatever the reason is. Maybe the wrong fields were used. If I hit calibrate, it gives me some suggestions that I can do in order to make up for this inaccuracy and go from there. Awesome. So those are some of the innovations that we have coming to Tableau Semantics, our semantic layer. Let's go back to the slides. And what did we see? What's available today? The first thing that we saw, Data Pro, calculated fields, that is available today in Tableau Semantics. Business preferences also available. The two features that we also saw, Q&A calibration at the end there, AI optimization, those are in beta. You can turn those on as well. We have a number of things coming later in the year, including fully automatic semantic model creation with Data Pro, and further out, the ability to create and generate a viz. So I have one more very short demo to show you for that. Let's go back to the demo. Now, how many of you are familiar with Tableau Agent? A capability that we released in Tableau Cloud and, as of today, Tableau Server. Okay, this is a pretty similar experience, but built for Tableau Next. So much like Tableau Agent, I can provide a natural language prompt to create a visualization. So in this case, I want to show sales by industry type, further broken down by opportunity type, sorted, ascending. And in a few moments, my Data Pro skill gives me the visualization that I'm looking for. But we are building beyond that too. It's not just about creating visualizations, because I suspect many of you are very adept at that. We are also doing many other enhancements, like allowing it to apply brand palettes automatically. I spend a lot of time in slides myself. I spend so much time changing the colors. It's the same within visualizations and dashboard. Now I can just ask that agent for help, and I automatically have that brand palette applied. We have not shown this capability yet because it is brand new. It's coming next year, and I'm very excited for it. And that is it for this demo. Let's go back to the slides. And I would love to hand it off now to my good friend and colleague, Matthew Miller, because Tableau Next doesn't just work in a silo. It is interoperable with the rest of the platform. Take it away, Matthew.
Thank you, David. Great job, great demos, very exciting capabilities. Many things I know I've been waiting for a long time. David, if you want your coffee, it's right here, bud. I got you. See, it's on the roadmap. Well, welcome, everyone. I get to talk about how we bring all this together. This morning, we spoke about the interoperable platform. If all these different components that you've seen in the slide that David showed, from Tableau Desktop and Prep, which is Desktop's the tool I started with in version 6.1. I know there are people in this room who started even earlier than I did. Tableau Server, Cloud, Next, CRM Analytics, etc. And I'm sure you're asking, all right, what's the right tool for the job? Well, first of all, I want you to know what our vision and strategy is. We know that in your organization, and probably even in your work day-to-day, you have a range of use cases that you need to support, from ad hoc analysis, those questions that just come up, to scaled analysis, rolling out some kind of an analytical experience to 20,000 salespeople. You have strategic questions. Where should we invest? What should we divest? You have tactical questions. Who should I call next? You have data questions that work on the most modern data platforms, Snowflake, Databricks, and sometimes we have data that's in an old DBT server under a desk somewhere. You don't have to raise your hand if that's you, but I know that's some of us. We know that in order to help you see, understand, and act on all the data around you and take advantage of the power of the Tableau platform, we've got to meet you where you are, no matter what your use cases are. So that's our strategy for this platform. So I get to show you a whole lot of cool ways that we're bringing those things together so you can leverage the right tool for the right job, for the right use case. Now, some of you are users of CRM Analytics. I will ask, put your hand up if you're willing to, if you use CRM Analytics today. Okay, just a handful of you. I'm sure there's a few more. How many of you use Tableau Cloud today? Okay, how many use Tableau Server today? And some of you, the data that we see suggests that those hybrid deployments are more and more common. We see a customer like a bank I spoke with recently who said, we've got 75% of our use cases in Tableau Cloud. We love that we don't have to manage it. We love it gets all the updates and the newest features. But we have a whole bunch of legacy data that we need to address, and we love that Tableau gives us the flexibility to deal with those with Tableau Server. Or the manufacturing customer I spoke with who said, we made the decision we regret years ago to install Hadoop clusters at all of our factories in remote locations. Well, what we love about Tableau is you can meet us there as well. We can run Tableau Server in each of those locations, and if the rest of the connectivity of the outside world goes down, our dashboards still load. So we give you freedom, flexibility, and choice. I asked if it was okay with marketing to use this analogy, and they said it's okay. The analogy I use is broccoli and soup. If you've got a fork and a spoon, and you got to eat broccoli and soup, you can eat this soup with a fork. You can. It's possible. I mean, I've seen my kids do it, but you're going to make a bit of a mess. And you can eat broccoli with a spoon, but it's going to fall off half the time. Like, you know the right tool for the job. And we want to help you make the right decision about the right tool for which job. So CRM Analytics, for example, is intelligent apps on Salesforce in Salesforce, whereas Tableau Cloud and Server are broad exploratory analytics, rich visualizations, geospatial visualizations on any data, anywhere. And Tableau Next is bringing together the best of those capabilities. We literally have pulled together the best of the pieces of the platform. For example, this data layer is powered significantly by Hyper, which is a technology that came from Tableau, whereas the visualization engine is inspired by Tableau and leverages pieces of CRM Analytics. And the action capability picks up capabilities of the Salesforce platform that are significantly more powerful than what we've had before. So analytics interoperability means, all right, I don't have to pick one or the other. We can actually use them in tandem to get the best solution for the job. If you saw the keynote this morning, you may have heard, like, the theme of the demo that I presented was unlocking more value from our existing investments. And I've heard this from one analytics leader after another. We've spent all this money on cloud data warehouses. We've spent all this money on ETL and ELT tools and data catalogs. We've spent all this money on analytics software. We want ROI. We don't want to migrate or transform or switch. We want to unlock new value and new use cases from our existing investments. And that's our strategy. So, but enough strategy. Let's see a demo, shall we? All right. We're going to begin, and we're in Tableau Next. And this is what's called a workspace. This is something that I have wanted forever, having come from the Tableau side of the house. If you've ever had to collaborate with a colleague on a Tableau asset, have you ever had this workflow? Hey, are you done publishing it yet? No, I think I just published over yours. I'm sorry about that. It's okay, we can undo, right? And the way that Tableau is built from the ground up was to enable a single person to do the full stack of analytics from soup to nuts, and that's fantastic. But it also meant that collaboration has been difficult. And so we have completely rebuilt the collaboration model of Tableau from the ground up in what's called a workspace. So Daniel here could be working on one visualization while I work on another one. And David could be modifying the semantic model while Andy modifies the dashboard, and none of us are stepping on each other's toes. That's super cool. It's multiplayer analytics. It's something we've wanted forever. So I'm going to click into one of those data models. And this is a semantic model that's here in Tableau Next. These semantic entities, each of these can be a logical entity or a physical entity, similar to relationships in the Tableau data modeling that we have today. And they can be sourced from anywhere, not just from Salesforce data. They can be zero-copied from cloud data warehouses like BigQuery, Snowflake, Databricks, etc. And they can also contain within them, just like logical entities or objects in Tableau data models, they can contain multiple tables related together. And so this data that I might want to analyze, I want to use the visualization capabilities of Tableau Cloud. So I'm going to go into Tableau Cloud, and here's a Sankey diagram. So this is using the power of visualization, viz extensions in Tableau. It's the Tableau authoring experience that millions of people use on platforms like Tableau Public, Cloud, Server, and Desktop. But you can see that the connection is actually right here to Sales Cloud. So as I interact with this, and I'll show you just so you can know that it's live and not extracted or not cached here, this bar chart that you'll see here in just a second is querying live directly from this data model. And so let's see, I'll interact with this. I'm not the world's best data viz expert, but then again, you saw my demo this morning, so you don't need me to tell you that. And it's always terrifying to demo Tableau in a room full of viz experts. But as I drag product family in, we're sending a vizql query through to the semantic layer and then translate that to whatever the sources are for each of those entities. So it's all live and connected. So in this way, you can use the rich visualization of Tableau, its extensibility, viz extensions from our partners like Infotopics or LaDataViz or ActInvision. You can use the geospatial capabilities of Tableau Cloud and Server, but use them with data models that are built in Tableau Semantics. Now, those of you who define your semantics in dbt or in Snowflake or other tools have probably heard about the open semantic interchange that we announced this year. This is not a standard format for semantic modeling. It's a standard for interchange of semantic models. Each of those tools stores things in their own way, and that's fine. We have our own format, but it'll be a standard for interchange, bidirectional interchange. So the power of using Tableau Semantics, for example, could be that I go into Tableau Semantics, and I have this actually synchronize a model that I've defined in dbt, or that I've defined in Snowflake or elsewhere, and then I can leverage Tableau Cloud, Tableau Server, Tableau Desktop visualization on top of it. That makes sense. So that's the direction of going from I've got a semantic model in Tableau Next, and I want to leverage that with Tableau capabilities. Let's go the other direction. Here I am now exposing a traditional Tableau Cloud or Server visualization, but it's directly in a Salesforce experience. And we've had this for a while. We've continued to upgrade this. This is using Lightning Web components, and these are bidirectional. So anything that's happening on the Salesforce page can modify the state of the viz by applying filters or parameters, and my interactions with the viz can drive actions within the Salesforce page as well. Continuing that, let's talk about the semantic modeling. So everyone's been talking about conversational analytics. I think the dream for those of us who've worked as analysts, and I worked as an analyst for a long time, I'm looking around the room, I can see some people who I know have done that. How many times, I'm not going to name him, but I had one boss who would ask these questions that were in the dashboard, like to a maddening degree, to where you wanted to go, let me Google that for you. I'm going to send you a link to the dashboard I already built and a screenshot of what to click on to get the answer that you wasted my time answering. And so although that's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek way to say it, the holy grail here is that for those of us who work in an analytical role, we want to enable the business users to be able to self-serve to the extent possible. There will always be a role for the analyst as you saw in our keynote demo, of understanding the translation between the business needs and the data and curating those semantic models that enable those sort of experiences. So how can we take all our existing investments? Let's say you've got, like some customers, thousands of Tableau published data sources today, and unlock new conversational or agentic experiences on top of that. We've done that with this, which is the semantic connector to published data sources. So this data source you're seeing here, you see it's got a frame around it and the Tableau sparkle. That's because these elements, orders, people, and returns, which many of you will recognize from Superstore, are sourced directly from a published data source. And in fact, that's what I did in my demo this morning. All my data modeling was done in Tableau Cloud. And that enabled me to do all the things that I showed you how I did. But when I was in Salesforce, I didn't want to have to remodel. Why rewrite the calculations? Why reset up the joins? I do that once, and I can unlock it. So if you want to unlock conversational or agentic analytics on top of your existing data sources, use this semantic connector and connect directly to your data sources. We have already released this for Tableau Cloud, and we're releasing it soon for Tableau Server. So just to recap, because I know it's an awful lot of things pointing boxes and lines in different directions, we've talked about using semantic models defined in Tableau Next, taking advantage of that OSI interchange, referencing and linking and syncing data models from other systems, and then analyzing those with Tableau Cloud, Desktop, and Server, and then going the other direction, taking models we've defined in Tableau Cloud or Server and using them in Tableau Next for agentic analytics. So here, in this case, this Tableau Next dashboard that I chose to do in Tableau Next because it has the capabilities that I want, natively integrated in Salesforce. It has those Salesforce actions that I want, but the data behind it comes from this data model. So as I interact with this, you can see this is all state, province, region. I'm sure many of you who've done some Tableau training recognize, I don't have to tell you, this is Superstore. It's got 4 regions, Central, East, South, and West. You can guess what the deal is with tables. That's powered from this published data source. So I can actually just ask this a question, compare sales trends for furniture across regions. I think you can imagine what the answer is going to be here in just a second. We know exactly how furniture performance is in various regions. I'm just going to see how OG you are. What region do you think is underperforming for furniture? Anybody? The East. That Andy Kriebel knows his Tableau. So what this is doing is it's taking the question that I've asked and it's put it through the Agentforce trust layer. So I see plenty of competitors and startups that are saying, well, we'll just kind of drop ChatGPT on your snowflake and you'll get trusted answers. That's ridiculous for one thing because ChatGPT doesn't understand your data. So this is the power of data modeling. But also, what our agent does that is distinctive, and I think this is really differentiated, is when I ask a question like that, it goes first through a layer of figuring out what I mean, disambiguation. Also, looks for toxicity and ethics and blocks requests that are invalid. One thing I like to do is ask, what does that guy David Lowe do at Tableau anyway? Does he do anything? And it'll say, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. But if I say, what does David do at Tableau? Oh, he's a product marketer. He's a swell guy. So you can see we've gotten our answer back. And actually, you can see we're not doing so bad in the East, but I'm sure as some of you know, profit is pretty bad. David called this out, but I want to draw your attention as well. This is trust but verify. Like the secret, I think, to successful conversational analytics is weaning our business users off of texting me to answer them questions from the dashboard I made them, right? I say that tongue in cheek, but there's an awful lot of that happens. But why do business users do that? They do that because they don't trust the numbers themselves, or they don't trust the answers they might find in a dashboard, but they know, I'll ping David. David will know the answer. So we have to build trust in from the ground up, and that's why we always cite our sources and explain our reasoning so that our business users can go straight to look at the metric. It says we chose to answer this based on this existing metric. You can click it yourself. It's trust but verify. It's like my kids in their homework, right? Did you write your term paper? Yes. Can I see it? Well, it's almost done. So trust but verify. And just to show you this is bidirectional as well, I have the same analytics agent. I won't ask the same question again, but I'm using, this is quite meta, I know. This is Tableau Cloud visualizations over the same data model, my Superstore data model, but I'm using the concierge conversational agent against the same data. And it does that by sharing the same data source. And this is so critical because I know many of you invested a lot in curating these data models. They are the trusted foundation for answers in your organization. And you don't want to migrate or model them. You've got all the row-level security worked out. The calculations are tested. The business users trust it. This is what we're doing to help you unlock that. All right. We'll continue with the slides then, please. So that's interoperability. We got a bunch of great things coming here. I already just showed you. This is available today. Tableau Cloud connecting to semantics. Semantics connecting to Tableau Cloud, and coming soon will be semantics connecting to your Tableau server data sources as well. And yes, you can take photos of this. This is available for public release. Again, the strategy behind all this is to say pick the right tool for the right job, and we'll make sure those things all operate properly. Next theme, intuitive data exploration on a governed platform. So let's take a look at what's possible here. We've got a number of new capabilities coming. I will draw your attention just to a few of these. Now, the visualization is the foundation of Tableau. I like to say that Tableau was birthed by scientists, backed by research to tap into the GPU of the mind. We've continued to invest not just in visualization, but in the presentation. I know this is a crowd pleaser. I'm going to say something controversial and political, I suppose. I don't like rounded corners. I'm kind of a minimalist. I like modern, clean, straight lines. But I know that I'm the minority, and many people are very excited about rounded corners. If that's you, there's nothing wrong with you. That's totally fine. But I'm also very excited about custom color palettes. Color palette management, of course, is super important for consistent branding. And being able to say, just give me a palette with all the Salesforce colors or your brand colors is fantastic. We've continued to invest in extensibility for Tableau. And just was talking with Andy Kriebel earlier today. One of the things customers have said to us is we love the extensibility of Tableau. We love that there's a brilliant third party. You can walk around their booths and see the extensions that they've built. But our security posture in our organization, our use cases, our governance requires those to be vetted and trusted and maybe even hosted by Tableau. And so we are bringing out trusted extensions. So these will be from our partners, but vetted by us and hosted and served by us. So they have the Tableau seal of approval, and that is coming soon. I want to double click in one thing here as time permits, and that's the authoring API. If you were at Tableau conference this year in Devs on Stage where we showed a showcase of upcoming features, we had what we call labs. And we showed a preview of a new form of extension. The extensions we have today in Tableau that you're familiar with are things like dashboard extensions, viz extensions, analytics extensions, which are largely about presentation and visualization. They're for the consumer. Whereas we're working on extensions to enable the analyst, the author, to be more effective. I get a chance to actually show you some of that right now. I happen to know that all the hooting and hollering that you may be able to hear in the next room is because Tristan has been showing off some of the ones that he's built with this API. Now, I want to be very clear. This is a pilot right now. We're running an extended pilot with a number of partners. It's a private pilot. If you're interested in participating and you know Tableau very well and you're a good software engineer, talk to me afterward. We'd love to include you if it's possible. So still a private pilot. We don't have a firm timeline yet for releasing this API. But here's what we did. We stepped back and looked at all the things that customers have told us. They said, look, Tableau's powerful for connecting to any data, modeling, writing calculations, building visualizations, but it's a lot of work. It's often a lot of click, 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 click. A lot of that can be automated. Behind everything you do in Tableau, there's a total of about 2,500 internal commands, the internal APIs of Tableau. And for the sake of this pilot, we have opened up access to all of them to the community members and partners who are participating. We don't intend to release access to all of them in the long run, but we're testing out which ones will be valuable to the community, automating anything at all. I'll give you some concrete use cases, and I'll show you an example. Have you ever had to move from one data environment to another? Maybe you're moving from SQL Server to Snowflake, and you've got to convert a whole bunch of data sources. Being able to do that with one click would be amazing. Let's imagine you're moving from Cognos to Tableau or Power BI to Tableau. You want to be able to one click and do that migration. Obviously, there's lots of common formatting use cases, like redesign. One customer I spoke with said, the biggest work for us is not the modeling, it's not the calculation, it's not the viz building, it's iterating with our stakeholders. We want to be able to build one dashboard and with one click, have it spit out 5 different layout options so that our stakeholders have something to give feedback on. Whatever your automation use cases, we're making that possible with this authoring API. I'll give you a very simple, it's a bit of nerdy and technical demo. If you'd like to see Tristan's, he's showing some tomorrow at 3 o'clock in his session. What I'm going to do with this new panel is part of this authoring API. So this would imagine just like maybe a Photoshop plugin if you've used Photoshop before, or sort of like Cursor, you have this sidebar where you can load any extension, one you've created or one created by a partner or community member, and it has the ability, with your approval, to interact with any aspect of Tableau Desktop and automate it. So I'm going to click Get Underlying Metadata. This is actually going to load the entirety of the metadata of the workbook into this extension. I'll show you what that looks like by flipping over to Visual Studio Code. So this is what the extensions have access to. Anything that you can modify programmatically, you can modify here. I'm going to take a very simple case. I've gone and taken all the instances of a certain blue in this workbook, and I've updated them all to David's favorite color, which is this really, honestly, garish kind of yellow. I question your judgment in colors. So one tap, This will instantly apply to the entire workbook, and every place that was blue will immediately transform into this, honestly, really god-awful yellow. I question your judgment. But then you can imagine many, many other instances where bulk changes to metadata. Tristan, I'll give a shout out to his session. He does a spell check that's super duper cool, inline translation, et cetera. The use cases are many. So we wanted to give you an update. This is not roadmap quite yet. We don't have a firm release date yet, but this is a pilot that's continuing. We're continuing to expand the scope of this and hope to have this generally available by Tableau Conference next year. The sky is the limit for what you, the community, can do with this. All right. Let's go back to our slides for a second, if we would. Lots more great things coming across the platform. You've just seen the authoring API. We, of course, have not forgotten about our administrators. We know there's no Tableau visualizations without administrators. And so a number of things coming that I think are quite powerful. I'll draw you onto a few. Of course, Tableau is a global community. We have customers around the world. We are adding new regions, including South Korea and India. And the third is somewhere else that I should know off the top of my head, but don't. Switzerland, thank you. I knew it was an important one. Switzerland, South Korea, and India are coming soon. Serve the customers who are there and meet residency requirements. Increased cloud capacity management means if you've got multiple sites in Tableau Cloud, you can share resources and pool the resources across them and allocate them to different sites. We have a new API now for managing platform data and for tracking as well the usage of Tableau. So your admins who have been familiar with Postgres or repository access in the past will have a similar experience in Tableau Cloud. And maybe my favorite, very nerdy feature, dynamic attribute passing through the IDP. Whew, that's a mouthful. It means when you sign in, there's a whole bunch of information that your Okta or your Ping or your Azure Entra sends to Tableau, and we basically disregard all that and just grab the username to make sure that you're valid. And we'll give you as authors the ability to pick up on any other attribute. Think of things like favorite color, whether you drink coffee or tea, or maybe more practical use cases like your preferred language, maybe even level of data sophistication could be a piece of information that comes in at runtime so that your vizzes, calculations, and dashboards can adapt on the fly to context you learn about the user just as they access. It's a very nerdy feature, but I think it's going to be tremendously powerful. All right. So now into the third chapter with, I think, a solid 8 minutes left, if I'm counting correctly. Or 3 minutes? All right. Tableau augmenting every stage of the experience. You know, we started out here. We started years and years ago, more than 20 years ago, as a self-service analytical tool and enabling people who are analytical to connect the data, visualize it. Then that led to adding dashboards and interactive application experiences. And we moved over the years to serving the business users who've said that drag and drop experience is too much. I need constrained and guided experiences with things like Pulse and dashboards. Well, there's a new technology that we've been hearing a lot about, and maybe you've heard called Model Context Protocol. And this is essentially like a USB-C for AI agents. So this morning in the keynote, I showed the OpenAI app preview, an early exploration that we did. That was built using Model Context Protocol. I have a very, very quick example that I can show you. The way that this works is the following. You connect. We'll switch to the demo if that's all right. The way that this works is you have what's called an MCP server. This is a Tableau MCP server. And this is the thing that you set up and connect with a connected app to your Tableau cloud or server site. When an MCP client, that's something like ChatGPT, Claude Desktop, Cursor, there are many, many others. When it connects to this MCP server, think of it like the USB-C for Tableau, Tableau replies with the capabilities that it has available, what are called tools. List data sources, find content, render a pulse metric, upload data. So we are moving very fast. We're shipping every week new capabilities to this, basically taking all the APIs of Tableau and making them part of this sort of USB-C, if you will. In a way, you can think of MCP as a universal connector for APIs. No need to figure out if this one's REST or SOAP or gRPC. Just connect with MCP. What that makes possible then, this morning, and I'm doing this intentionally, this morning I showed the OpenAI app demo. And the whole idea behind this is that when you connect into to Tableau MCP, we'll gracefully upgrade or downgrade the experience based on the capabilities of the client. If you're like on a mobile MCP client, maybe we can't do interactive widgets. Maybe it's not supported. Maybe images aren't supported. So we'll gracefully upgrade or downgrade the experience. So I've actually connected Claude, which does not support interactivity yet, to the OpenAI app that I showed this morning. Nothing more risky than using like bleeding edge code. So I'm going to ask the exact same question I asked. How's my business doing today? And what this is going to do is call my OpenAI app, and because this is Anthropic's Claude, it's going to say, okay, I don't have support for that interactive widget, but I can get all the data behind it. I've got that, and it'll give you a text-based experience. So this will reach out, get my business summary. You'll see it call a tool. In fact, we can see which tool it's called. It's called the business summary. I can see that it's passed no arguments to that. That's fine. And here's the response is, here's all the information about the health of my business. But what I care about is this. This is its summary and my ability to drill in and ask further questions. So I can interact with this and say, okay, if you remember this morning, what's going on with in-store sales? No problem. I can even misspell it. I'm going to leave the misspelling, and it's perfectly fine. And it's going to say, okay, there seems to be some spikes. If you can tell me what's going on with the events that are happening around those, there seems to be some correlation. Maybe I can predict. So it's gone and gotten the dashboard. This client does not support an interactive experience, but it can get the data. And therefore, it can still give me insights that I can interact with. So whether your users are using a very constrained client like Cursor or a broad client with interactivity like ChatGPT, you get the same capabilities, all backed by Tableau, data sources, vizzes, dashboards, all with security and in your user's footprint. And it's really, really cool. I have a demo where I then go and add some data, and it uploads it to Tableau and does some additional analysis. So this is really, really, I think, revolutionary because to what we talked about this morning, we are committed to delivering actionable, accurate, analytical answers for any person on any data anywhere, giving them the freedom, flexibility, and choice to meet your data where it is and meet your users where they are, no matter where they sit on that spectrum, from the most nerdy and analytical data engineers all the way to the business users. All right, let's go back to the slides then and close out because I'm probably already over time. A lot of really cool things coming further that I want to call your attention to. We're continuing to enhance MCP. Foundational to that, though, is composable data sources. We've continued to advance there. Many of you are familiar with shared dimensions. Continue to work toward composable data sources to make it possible for you to bring together completely disparate data models without returning inaccurate or incorrect results. We've just shipped a whole bunch of new capabilities. Particularly want to draw your attention to Tableau Agent in Tableau Server, the ability to have that assistive experience when authoring. And then further down the line, the admin assistant agent, making it possible for admins to run workflows conversationally, because AI is for admins too. I'm looking at you, Paul Banoob. I know plenty of people have asked for that for a long time. All right, there's lots more you can do to continue the learning journey. Please stop by the booths for our partners. Come visit us at the booth. Come grab me or David to ask questions afterward. Continue learning on Salesforce Plus, and we'd love to get your feedback. Thank you so much for coming.